Hello mortals, I am the booktube goddess, the #1 drag queen booktuber on YouTube. Today I'm doing something totally different. I've been really moved by Nikkietutorials coming out as trans, and I wanted to make a video. But rather than do a reaction to Nikki's coming out, I thought I'd do something fun and try to follow her tutorial on the Dawson Jeffree Starr conspiracy palette. As you know, I've done a look with that palette before, and hopefully this time it turned out a little better. And as I do my makeup, I'll try to talk about her coming out, and at the end, I'm going to recommend a book that I think is a great fantasy for trans women. So let's get started. Okay, I've done my base and I've tried to do my eyebrows, and I am not a great makeup artist, and I admit that I have issues with eyebrows, as you can tell. But Nikki's video, I believe, is just on the eyes, so I wanted to get this done so I could just focus on the eyes. So let's get started on the video.
Hello guys, it's me, Nikki. Hello. Welcome to the very first review video on the brand new Dawson x Jeffree Starr Cosmetics collection. Today it is my absolute honor to be the first makeup channel here to show you a full-on tutorial / review featuring the conspiracy palette as well as the mini controversy palette, as well as all the lip colors, and we've literally seen it all happen from step 1 all the way to the end, and it is now a finalized bomb. Like the packaging, I will get to it later, but the packaging. All right, the first color, the first official color I'm dipping into is Pigment, and it is a lovely pig pink, and that is going on the outer portion of the crease. So I'm first stamping it on and letting the base act as a magnet, and then we'll focus on blending in like the shape.
She's looking really red on camera. I can't tell because it's looking more pinky. Well, I guess if you really pack it on like she is, it does look red, but in real life, it is more pink than orangey red that it shows up on her video. Not that it matters.
So I definitely want that drama today, so I think we're gonna wing this out. Go for like that full extra moment. Again, just stamping, working on the color payoff. But this is stamping on pretty well. Okay, now I'm dipping into my pills for my transition, and using my pills, I'm gonna smooth and blend out that harsh edge here.
So, like I said, the eyebrows are, I drew them high, so I'm really lifting the pigment color here. Still doesn't look as saturated as Nikki's, but it may, when I run this through the video editor, it may look a lot darker than what it's looking right now in real life.
All right, now I'm just wondering what color that will blend into nicely on the inner part of the crease. First I was thinking the blue, what's the T? But now I'm looking at the mini controversy palette and I'm seeing this purple lilac and I'm like, ooh, okay, let's go with that. It's called Exposed. Exposed, exposed, exposed. All right, here we go. Stamping that onto the inner portion. Oh, okay. So that is showing up a little bit darker than I thought it was going to show up initially, but I don't mind it. Okay, hold on. I'm really liking that. I want to blow that up some more, so I'm taking a bigger brush and really letting it take its moment. I am loving the—
I didn't buy this myself. Thank you to my gamers who got me this, so we can follow this as well. I haven't really used this much, but there it is. Oh, I like this mirror. Oh, she's just too good. Oh, man. I don't know how this is reading. You know, for the record, one of the reasons Nikki's coming out video really moved me is because I've always had really close trans friends, both trans women and trans men, for most of my adult life. I don't know why that is, but it's certainly been my privilege. And I wanted to do a video, even though it is far afield from booktube, but at the end I will have a book recommendation, which I'll get to after the tutorial.
All right, now let's add some depth. So I'm going in with this dark purple maroonish shade called Not a Fact. And I'm using this to smoke out the outer edge of the lash line. Right, I am truly trying to use as many shades of this palette as I possibly can. So I'm now dipping into Diet Coda. And I'm dipping this onto that part of the lid that we haven't really touched yet. Oh, I like that a lot. A nice chrome silver shade.
She's not cutting the crease, but she's kind of cutting the crease with the silver. No, it's not the right terminology. I don't know what she's doing, but I think I put the red over too much. But she's just like really blowing that out. Does this look good? I can't tell. I don't know.
So both Jeffree and Shane have the bright as neon shade, the yellow shade food videos on the bottom of the eye, and then with a liner underneath and lots of like rhinestones. So we're doing that too. So using the black of the palette, my rights here, I'm first gonna map out where that line should go. I know this looks very questionable right now, but trust me, as soon as the yellow is popped in and all the rhinestones and the lashes, this is gonna pull together. It's gonna be like a soft drag look.
Okay, hold on, hold the phone. Okay, then she used the pigment to well, I just brushed off the black line. How is she doing that? Is she wetting the black? Does that look anything like Nikki's?
Speaking of said yellow, let's use it, shall we? Ooh, this is turning into lipstick Nick chic territory right now.
I'm really packing on this yellow. It does not look nearly as vivid in person. Now, what do you think? I mean, I'm really packing on this yellow too.
So let's dive into Ranch, another color we haven't used yet, a highlighting light to pop out those inner corners. That's good. Oh, that's everything. Oh, that's nice. Oh, that's nice like that. All right, I think this is it shadow-wise. I'm just gonna go off camera, pop some lashes on, and add those rhinestones to create the full fantasy. And then I'll be back for a little bit of a simpler look. All right, and that is the eye look completed. And I feel like this fits right in with the look and feel of the collection. This is kind of an homage to Lipstick Nick. And I am loving this sort of like glam clown vibe going on.
Okay guys, I'm going to try to do the same thing on this side, and I'll brush off this bake, and I don't know if I have rhinestones like that. I really want to put on eyeliner. I just don't feel comfortable without eyeliner. Oh, she's done such a great job, but oh boy. Okay, I'll be right back. So I wanted to talk a little bit more about why I'm doing this video. But first, let's define some terms. First, drag queen. I am a drag queen. I only dress up as a woman for entertainment purposes. That's it. It's just like a clown putting on makeup. That's all you need to know. And of course, there are also drag kings. Actually, one of my favorite drag shows is a drag king show that retells Star Trek, the original series episode. If you're ever in San Francisco, check out the Oasis, which is a club owned and run by the legendary drag queen Helena. And if they're running a Star Trek show, it really is a must-go see. And of course, there's other shows besides Star Trek that they put on. So, Oasis, what's the chef's kiss? No. Okay, so that's drag queen. And then there's trans or transgender. Transgender is a person who was born in the wrong body, and that is Nikkietutorials. Sometimes they suffer from gender dysphoria, which is a psychological term for almost a pathological distress of having the physical traits of the gender you were born with, like hating your genitalia or breasts for trans men or facial hair for trans women. Some transgender people transition, which covers a range of procedures from taking hormones to full gender reassignment surgery. And if you want to know more, there's tons online and on YouTube for that matter. Then there are cross-dressers, which people don't talk about very often, but that's basically a sexual fetish. Dressing as the opposite sex, largely for role play or sex play purposes. Now, cross-dressing does not necessarily mean you're trans. It's just what I said, it is a sexual fetish.
I can speak for myself. Being a crossdresser, I always disclose that I am a crossdresser, which means that I am a full-time dude. It's totally separate from being transgender. You never want to call someone who's transgender a crossdresser. That's actually very offensive. Just remember, crossdressers, we dress up for fun whenever we want to feel our little fantasy moment, our little feminine fish moment. So we dress up, we can go out, we can have fun, we can date like this. Girl, a lot of people hook up. You know, they cross-dress and they do it for sexual purposes because they feel more empowered, they feel sexier, they feel like they're wanted more. So that's definitely a valid reason to cross-dress.
Now, to make things totally confusing, a person can be multiple of the aboves. You can be a drag queen who is also trans or who realizes they are trans through drag. That's not unusual. And there's actually some tension within the trans community because trans women who come up through the drag world often retain a lot of drag humor, which can be really crass and very not PC. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. You can also have drag queens who are cross-dressers who enjoy sex play while dressed in women's clothes or lingerie or makeup. Nothing wrong with that. It just shouldn't mean that's what all drag queens are into. It's really not for me, first of all, because my drag is old woman drag, which isn't sexy drag, and I don't think many people are into that. Second of all, I'm really not turned on in that way by being in drag, but some people are, and that's okay. Some cross-dressers may realize they are trans, and some cross-dressers may just recognize it is a fetish and leave it at that. My point is, I think I have a point. My point is that even if you know the definition of drag queen or king, or transgender or cross-dresser. Not everything is cut and dry. People are complicated. People can be more than one thing, or people can be just one thing. Now, looking at Nikkietutorials, one thing I've been concerned about in the past, and maybe I shouldn't bring it up, but sometimes I wonder how wise it is to give hormone blockers or hormones or that type of procedures to teenagers who just come out as trans. It seems to me there needs to be some real intensive psychological therapy to determine if someone is really transgender or has gender dysphoria, and not just acting out or being trendy or whatever the case may be before starting transition therapies. Now, I'm all for experimenting with gender role play or dressing or acting out or makeup. But when you go into the medical therapies, I think that could be a concern. But in Nikki's case, she lived as a girl from a very young age. I think she said she was like 6 or 7 when she was living as a girl. So it makes total sense for her to be on hormone blockers before she goes through puberty. And then she made a full transition, she said, when she turned 18. So she's like a perfect case study. And obviously, the best physical transitions occur when you start it before puberty kicks in. That's just science. A trans man won't grow breasts or get hips, and trans women won't go through the voice change, which is a big thing for some, or grow facial hair. And I think Nikki mentioned there are even growth hormones or growth suppressors that can affect people at this time as well. So a trans man can become taller, or a trans woman can stunt their growth a little bit. Nikkietutorials, in my opinion, is totally unclockable. I would never have guessed she was trans. Yes, she is tall, but she's from the Netherlands. Isn't everyone there tall? You just look at her and she goes, oh yeah, she comes from the land of the Valkyries, right? And she is the case study of a perfect transition. But talking about that, I find myself a little conflicted. On one hand, you want a trans person to have the best transition possible, which means you start it before puberty or at puberty. On the other hand, you don't want to mess up anyone's life, so it makes sense to require a person to live as the opposite gender for at least several years like Nikki did. But if someone comes out as trans just as they're going through puberty, what do? Do you make them wait several years and you lose that window of opportunity for the best physical transition? Do you just put them on hormone blockers and hope this is the right decision? I mean, we don't even know the long-term effects of hormone blockers on prepubescence, simply because I don't think it's been used that long for that purpose. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. This question is academic for me because I don't have children and I will never have children. So I'll never have to make that decision for another person. But if you have children or you plan to have children, maybe it's something to think about. Heck, I don't even vote in the local elections for the Board of Education because I don't think I should have the right to have a say because I'm not a parent. Now, the one thing about Nikki's video that I wish she did not mention was bringing up her boyfriend or her fiance and opening that door of when she told him and when not, because I think that kind of sidetracks the main message of the story. She said she was being blackmailed, so maybe someone was going to reveal that as well. But I kind of wish she kept it private because it kind of distracted from the main message of coming out as trans. Maybe that could have been another video or another story talking about when to tell people you're trans or not. But I think it detracted from some of the story. Now, I mentioned I was going to recommend a book. The book I want to recommend is The Bone Dolls Twin by Lynn Flew-Welling, published in 2001. In my opinion, this is the ultimate fantasy for trans women, and it is a metaphor for what it is like to be a trans woman. It is a high fantasy set in a kingdom where there is a prophecy that the land will prosper as long as it is ruled by a queen of the royal lineage. Well, leave it to a man in the royal line to figure out how to become king. His plan was pretty simple. Just kill off all the women in his family. So no one was left to rule except for him. Before the king has a chance to kill his sister, she gives birth to a pair of twins, one male and one female. But the male baby dies. And using magic, 2 wizards and a witch cast a spell on the baby girl to take the form of her dead brother. And the spirit of the dead brother is tied into a doll. So imagine this girl grows up in the body of a boy named Prince Tamar, who never quite understands why he's different, why he feels different from other boys. Physically, he looks like a little boy. And as he gets older and approaches puberty, he doesn't understand his feelings. He doesn't understand his feelings towards other boys and can't figure out why he is different. Of course, this is a fantasy, and where magic is involved, anything is possible. But if the king finds out there's a female of his line still alive, she will be hunted down and killed. Now, this is the first book in a trilogy that is very well written. The writing is top-notch, 5-star writing in my opinion. But more importantly, it is a fantasy that I think would really resonate with a trans person and really help people who are not trans maybe to understand what it's like to grow up as trans, as feeling you're born in the wrong body, or in this case, actually in the wrong body. All that, and it is a kick-ass fantasy plot. I'll have an affiliate link for the Bone Dolls twin down below. If you like this video, please hit the thumbs up, and if you want to see more videos like this, please subscribe and hit the notification bell. It really does help. Until next time, may all the books you read be blessed.